All right, we are live. Looks like me and Dave here for the last meeting of Choose Your Enemies Wisely. Before we get into the book, I want to hear more about what David is doing. Hey, David, what's the name of your company? I mean, I know it's you and two other gentlemen. One's a ex Green Beret, and not sure what the other guy does. Maybe you can tell us. But what's the name of the company?
So we are Invictus Legacy Builders.
Legacy
so the
Builders.
unconquerable, it's all surrounding the unconquerable mindset.
Okay.
Right? That's the concept. We just recorded our second podcast episode. So we're going to wait till we have a full 10, and then we'll drop all 10 at once, and then we'll start dropping them, a couple of weeks.
Consistently? Yeah. Hey, and the podcast, is it just all three of you guys chit-chatting, or you're talking subjects, or you're bringing in guests? What are you doing?
So far, it's just the three of us, and we're round tabling our beliefs on what an unconquerable mindset is. And then we're interviewing, like we've got Chris Cassidy has agreed to come on, former Navy SEAL, and of course he was also an astronaut, for those of you who know him. So the Medal of Honor Museum is currently being hosted in this building while they're building the Medal of Honor Museum across the street.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really cool. We have access to a lot of really neat people. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring them on. We will interview them. We'll talk to them about their mindset and what has given them the unconquerable mindset that they operate every single day with. So we're going to deep dive into that with these folks. And who knows, whether it's an hour and a half, 2 hours of conversation, that's what we're going to do.
Man, I love that. And like you were just showing me around the office, your office, you said is the old Arlington Stadium. Where is it? What is it?
Yeah, it's the old Arlington Stadium right off of 1000 Ballpark Way. So the new Texas Stadium is literally across the street. Yeah. And then you have the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, not even quarter mile up the road. So it's all just right here. The XFL plays out of here, and then you've got a professional rugby team that plays out of here, and then semi-pro soccer. So it's pretty neat location to be.
Man, that's got to be energetic as hell. Just driving into that parking lot, walking into the building with the history, all of it.
It really is. You stand a little taller, you walk a little faster, you sales a little more effectively because you got to pay the rent. But it's
that is great. Hey, last week was good. Me and Glenn spoke. Chapter 7, 8, and 9. The vision and the systems, and for me, it's all about systems. But I think chapters 10 and 11, he kind of puts it together. He's talking about putting it really on 2 sheets of paper, like within 3 sheets of paper. The first sheet of paper is just kind of like the first sheet of paper is just the title type of deal of your business plan. But he wants you to be, and he kind of goes back through all of what he calls the building blocks, why you're doing it, why you want to be this, why you want to do this. And for me, I mean, that's in a whole lot of other personal development books. It's just his spin on how to do it, but you can't hear it enough. Wouldn't you agree, Dave?
There is no question. Repetition is the mother of skill, the mother of all learning, right? The more we hear it. So, and that's the crazy thing is I'm looking at my partner's books over here, his bookshelf. Almost every book he has are the same books I have, right? I mean, it's like we're looking at the same person, only he got his experience somewhere other than where I got mine, right? Yeah. Same with you, right? If I were to look at your bookshelf, the majority of the books on your bookshelf are the same ones that I've read, the same ones that I read, right? And we constantly go back to them again and again, not because we're rereading it, but we're looking for systems that work.
Yeah.
Right? Processes, procedures that absolutely work every time they're tried. And they may have, from one book to the next, it's tweaked a little bit, but it's just a refresher. It's a reminder of who we need to be on a daily basis.
Yeah, 100%. And especially now that, like with my Audible account and all the traveling and driving that I'll do, I'll listen to stuff over and over again. But if it's been more than 6 months, and most of the time it is, because I've got so many of them, my favorites, except for Jim Rohn, I kind of listen to that stuff all the time. that's like I use him as a nagging wife. Since my wife doesn't nag me, I let Jim Rohn nag me. Come on, you know what you need to be doing. Stop doing it. Get up
Nice.
early. Do this. but
Love it.
but man, when I go back and read and listen to these books 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years later, man, they're like new. They're like new books again because I'm in a different place mentally. You know what I mean? So it's a different person reading the book, so it makes the book a different book. I don't know if you. I know you understand,
well,
but some people don't. Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Brian. Even this damn book, listening to it over, I listened to it the first time and I got something out of it. Listen to it the next time, I'm like, for the love of all that's good and holy, where was that on the 8th time? Where was that the first time?
It's crazy. It's like I don't know. They talk about when you stand in the river. It's like you can't stand in the same river, twice. It's just always moving. It's just you're just always different. Like from it's not even day to day. I guess it's almost like minute to minute, and we don't even realize it.
Well, these people who put together their vision board today, and then they pull it back out a week later. It's like, dang it, I missed half the stuff I want to put in that thing. I guess I better redo it. Right.
Yeah.
But that's the concept, is to constantly remind ourselves of why we're doing the thing.
Yeah.
Right. So when I look at this whole process that he's put together, it's what is it that's going to keep us inspired, not motivated, but inspired from the inside out on a daily basis to take this stuff off the wall, put it in the calendar, and do the thing every day.
Yeah. Put it into action.
Yeah.
And I've shared this story. It's a minute or two long, so stick with me. But is my second trip back to California, when I came out here with my mom, it's like quit school, jumped on a Greyhound bus, went back to North Carolina. All my friends, even I had only been gone like a year, but all my friends had changed, and so I really didn't have anywhere to live there. And went down to Myrtle Beach. It was going to be a lifeguard. It was the winter season, so nothing was going on there. I didn't have any money. My mom buys me another freaking Greyhound bus ticket. So I drive 3 days across the country on a Greyhound without eating. And my goal was to get to Hawaii. I thought, man, if I'm just going to be a bum and be a lifeguard on the beach, I might as well do it in Hawaii. And my mom was in California, so that was closer to Hawaii than Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So I'm back on the Greyhound. So one of my buddies that I had met the first time when I lived out here, picks me up at the Greyhound station in Claremont, California, Montclair, and drives me over to another guy's house, introduced me to this dude named Amin. He just passed away a couple of years ago, and he had made some spaghetti the day before and warmed up the spaghetti for me. I was like, man, it's the best spaghetti I ever had in my life. And he had moved out here from Kentucky, graduated, college, came out here, was doing some stuff, and I was as dumb as dirt. Fast forward 5 years, now I'm into construction. I'm listening to all the cassette tapes that Zig Ziglar says listening to. I'm going to all the seminars. I'm thinking business now. Got my contractor's license. It had been 5 years. I had went through a lot of shit. So I'm leaving all of that out. But we sat down and none of us really ever drank back then. But he was looking at me going, because he was in the exact same place that he was when I got off the Greyhound bus 5 years earlier. And he was looking at me, and I was like, dude, I said, dude, you've got way more education than me when it comes to schooling. I said, you graduated high school, you went to college, graduated college, moved out, from Kentucky to California to live the dream. I said, I didn't even finish 9th grade. I said, the only difference between who I am right now and who you are right now, when I stepped off that Greyhound bus 5 years ago, is the books that I've read, cassettes I've listened to, and the seminars that I've went to. And, because all of those make you take the actions. And that's why this whole this book thing is, I was kind of, just excited about doing it. That's all I've ever had is these seminars and these books and these cassette tapes and CDs and now downloads and all this other stuff it's life changing if you listen to it enough. It's nothing changes in your life until you take physical action. I'll give you that. I'm not a big sit around and meditate dude. And like the Amish say, or someone says the Amish say it. I don't know if they do or not, but it's a great saying. It's move your feet when you pray. don't
You know,
expect God and the universe to do everything for you. You got to take the action. But it is taking action by listening to these books over and over again, reading these books, reading along with them, writing it down, that journal to where eventually your subconscious mind, I believe, gets tired of just listening to it and writing it down to where, you may not even notice it, but you're eating less sugar. You're eating better, less processed food. You're eating better food. You're walking a little faster. You're going, it like Zig Ziglar or Jim Rohn says, is like, where do you stop? He says, start with that walk around the block. Is that where you can start? He goes, yeah, where else would you start? Start with the walk around the block. Walk around the block may inspire you to eat the apple. Eat the apple. It may inspire you to get a book. Get a book. So it just starts with the little bitty things. And I know me and you, we've known each other for so long, but I've never stopped doing it. I'm blessed to be so uneducated, I believe, because it made me later on, like, especially now, I'm still hungry for education. I just can't get enough of it. And that's why this book and him wanting us to write everything down and put it in an order to where, like you just said, it keeps you inspired, not motivated. You've got to take these small daily actions every day. What do you think?
So, you know how he's talking about the vision board, right?
Yeah.
The only reason this is even important is because you're telling your subconscious mind that this shit's important.
Yeah.
Right? You're telling it, this is what I'm looking for, right? So granted, yeah, I wrote down, this is where I'm going to travel over the next couple of years, right? Why? Because I'm going to look at it every damn day to remind myself to book that trip, right? And then I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission for what? This is my giving mission, right? So all the things that are on there, that's what I'm giving back to the society. And then this is I'm on a mission to learn. So this is everything that I'm going to learn. This is my learning curriculum for this year. All the books in the different categories that I'm going to read this year, not audible, but physical books that I'm going to read.
Yeah.
The audible books is what I fill in with, right?
Yeah.
Fill in the gaps. And then I've got my list of personal and professional people that are in my inner circle, people I'm learning from and learning with, right? And then the professional goals, what I'm accomplishing this year. And then, of course, just in representation of what it is. I'm traveling. I've got family. You got the soccer school. You got healthy living. You got I'm going to the World Cup, building a cabin so I could be like my brother. Hey,
look, you can see behind me. I'm sitting at the beach right now.
Right?
I've been at the beach all week.
And then just my quotes board, right? The ones that actually move me so that I read them every day. And now these are going to go on my wall at the house. I'm not done, but when I'm done with everything, it'll all be on the wall in front of me. And it's like, okay, to do this, to make this happen, what steps do I have to take and have to go into my calendar to make that happen? So now it's breaking down because you notice the big calendar on the wall back here.
Yeah.
9-foot calendar. All right. So you got the 9-foot calendar on the wall that's going to be the battle board for exactly what the deliverables are, when they have to be delivered by, who's doing what. And so we can move. The sales funnel will be done by this time. And who's responsible for the lead magnet, right? So right now I'm building a lead magnet. It'll be done by the end of the day. And I'll turn it over to the visual genius, and he'll turn it into something that looks amazing. And then that will be the lead magnet, which will have 6 bonuses with it. And then from there, we'll move on to the product, right? But we'll get that lead magnet going before we get the product finished.
And I don't know if you just accidentally said it or you read it from Russell or somebody, but man, I love that battle board. I'm going to put that shit somewhere.
Dude, I stole that from
I'm a board guy. Like, for construction is like, I love the board, man. I love the board. We have all the apps, we have all the freaking computer crap and all that stuff, but I love being able to walk into the office and glance at the board and know exactly what's going on this month. And then I'll look over and I know what's going on next month and the rest of the year and all of that. And like the vision board and everything that you're talking about right now, I tell people is like, and if you follow Anthony Robbins at all, the reticular activating system, the RAS. It's a small nest of nerve endings at the base of your brain. It's where everything comes together. It's like the world's greatest secretary. It's so when subconsciously, when you're starting to read and talk and have these conversations, it's like when you go like right now, we just for my daughter, for Christmas, we looked at a whole bunch of cars for my daughter for Christmas to surprise her, and we ended up with like the little baby Bronco, the Bronco Sport. Uh, and you didn't, I didn't see them at all before, but now that we've thought about getting one, you started seeing them everywhere, and it's because your reticular activating system you've told your brain that now that is important to you. So when you start talking about fitness or business or any of that stuff, when you let it know, you let your subconscious mind know what's important to you, that reticular activating system, you start seeing it everywhere. It's like the old Confucius statement of, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The teacher has always been there. You just haven't been ready for, you have to be ready for it. It's there. You have to let your brain know that that's what you're looking for. And seeing that stuff over and over and over again is, I think Patrick David talks about it in the book. You need some magic, and that's kind of like the magic, but I guess at the same time, it's the energy waves that are in the world, I guess. Like the way we're talking right now, this video stream. I'm sitting in my truck, the ocean behind me. There's no wires, no anything. It's all floating in the air somewhere. I think Glenn just got on. He's up in Washington. You're in Arlington, Texas. People are watching it in Florida. So those same airwaves that carry this signal carry those signals to the thought processes that you have.
Brian, even how you and I met, right? So Step one was I read 2 books. Both of those books said the highest paid people in the world are the best communicators, so you better figure out how to communicate.
Yeah.
They recommended an organization to join to learn that. I joined the organization. I enter my first speech contest. I don't get a laugh in 7 damn minutes. In fact, when I'm practicing, the lady says, "You know what? That's the first attempt at humor we've ever had in here." I got a laugh, right? I got a laugh. It was great at my expense. However, the next contest happened to be an inspirational contest. Now, on that one, I placed 3rd. And after I was done, a gentleman walked up and said, "How would you like to win this next year?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to win this next year."
Yeah.
What did I have to do? I had to take a step. I had to take an interest in my own development before someone else would take an interest in my development. And as soon as I took an interest, he took an interest, introduced me to new people. Yes, I did win the next year, which is where I met you.
Yep.
Right? You're giving a presentation. I'm like, for the love of all it's going to hold, I've never heard any of this stuff before. Right? And you're all talking about the whole vision board. In fact, you sold me my first kit.
I know. I used to have that whole tube with the pen and the this and the
yeah, I bought the whole thing, right? I bought whatever it was. I bought it all. That's what I bought. I still listen to you. I still listen to your presentation that you did with Les Brown.
With Les.
Right? So anyways, the whole concept is when we take an interest in our own development, others will take an interest in us, and somebody will always step up to help take us to a new level.
Yeah, 100%.
We never take that step into the dark. Yeah. Who's going to show up?
Yeah. Hey, that's phenomenal. Everything that you've written down is like, it is. It's, because I talk about is like, there's no way around not having the world punch at you and kind of want to beat you up. There's just no way around it. It's just, it ain't that, like Jim Rohn would say, it ain't that kind of world. It's like, when you create your own universe and your own earth, you can plan it for that. But right now we got to deal with what we got. And you've got to keep yourself motivated, inspired, man, because when you don't, man, there's just too much shit that happens to you on a personal level, business level, family level. Man, if I sit here and told you all the bad shit that happened to me in 2023, you'd be wondering why I didn't commit suicide. But then, if I told you all the good shit that happened to me, you'd think I was bragging. It's just, it's everybody's going, I love, like, when I'm sitting at, like, years ago now, but like, and I've heard him say it so many times since then, but, when Les Brown would say, look, man, you're either in something right now, you just came out of something, or you're headed for something, but there's always something. It's how you learn to deal with it that's going to make the difference in your life.
That's right, because life is always trying to bring you back into balance. And there's no such thing as work-life balance. I get that. It's all harmony. It's all going to be peaks and valleys. It's all going to be seasons. But when it comes down to it, we are always being brought back into balance. So if we don't get too excited when we have great success, and we don't get too excited when we're losing miserably, we figure out how to emotionally maintain some stability. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, you know what? We're just going to take it in stride. We're just going. Yeah. We're going to take the success in stride. We're going to take the failure in stride. We're going to learn from it, and we're going to move forward.
Yeah, right? That's like, because my whole thing is like, life is an emotional roller coaster. It's up to you to learn how to enjoy the ride.
That's right.
And then, it's hard sometimes, but I've written it down so many times. But everything that happens to me happens to serve me. All the bad stuff, and look, man, I'm with everybody. It's like, you only grow during the down times and the this and the that. Like, I'm tired of growing. I'm tired of the day. It's like, but it's just, there's no way. It's like, I know, even when I'm in the middle of the bad stuff, is like some way, somehow, this is supposed to make me better. And I don't know what it is, but I just know in my gut, in my soul, at the bottom of everything is it's going to make me better somehow, some way, someday. And I don't always know what that is. Sometimes I never know what it is. I just know that it is. Sometimes it's like, it may be just, it never makes me better, but going through it gives me compassion for someone else who's going through it also later on. And maybe I'm just there to listen to that and maybe support that person. You just don't know. But the one thing I do know is that everything that happens to serve me.
Yeah, it really comes down to, or even back to Think and Grow Rich. I know you're not a big fan, but I am a
fan. It's a bummer.
I still just go back to the concept of looking for the diamonds, right? If you have diamonds, the house catches on fire, what's the first thing you're looking for? Looking for the diamonds. Did we lose you, Brian? Glenn, are you still here?
Yeah, it looks like he's frozen.
Yeah, he's like an ancient
It's still
statue.
going.
All right. Hey, you and I are here. How you doing, Glenn?
Good. Just got back from a bid opening, so.
Oh, nice. What do you want to share from your takeaways from the book, the last couple chapters?
Let me open up my Word document that I had. Let's see. Where'd it go? Oh, he dropped off, and now he's probably going to come back in. Probably has too much salt water in his phone. Let's see. Oh, do you leave behind your will and conviction to carry on with others? That was in 11. 10, I was okay type of thing, but I got more out of chapter 11 than I did out of 10 type of thing there. And I just thought it was probably how it was bringing everything together in that sense there versus other times, how it consolidated the first 10 chapters. That's what I like more about 11. And the last part is, if you're going to have the best year, the people around you must also.
Yeah,
and
how about that?
And sometimes, I don't know if he said it or that was just something that I got out of it or listening to other things, but I think that was right there. Is if you're going to have the best year, the people around you must also.
It's how can they not? Right? If we've surrounded ourselves. Oh, am I the only one left?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. It just shows me on the thing.
Oh, I have both you. Well, Brian came back on, and then he just disappeared again.
I'm still here, though. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
I can hear you now.
Let's see.
Where are you, Brian? Because literally the only person I can see is me.
Let's see.
Aha.
There you are.
There we go. I had a bad. Somehow, we're getting ready to get a storm, I guess. I don't know, but continue. Don't let me interrupt you.
Yeah, keep going, Glenn.
No, well, I don't know if you heard that part, but the conclusion was two things that I got out of it: stay calm and get going. And then the last one, I don't know if you heard that one. This other one, though, if you're going to have the best year, and we've always kind of talked about, the people around you must also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we forget about that around that. It doesn't matter. It's got to be your kids, your family, your workers, et cetera, down the line. And if there's one thing that I got out of this whole book is that's the phrase that is, if you're going to have your best year, the people around you must also, or they got to have really close to that also. I mean,
Yeah.
What I love
they got to
about
go,
that
man,
is,
this was a great year type of thing, or we're excited about that.
yeah.
You know, maybe not everything went perfect, but it went better than last year, that type of thing there.
Well, I think also, Glenn, it comes down to if we've surrounded ourselves with like-minded people that are striving and going for things, then we are going to succeed together. And we're
Right.
moving in the right direction together. We're talking together. We're communicating with one another, and we're pushing each other to show up as a better version of ourselves every day. And if we're rewarding ourselves for our wins, the people around us have to be affected in some way.
Right.
Because Brian, they're seeing you walk faster, talk faster, show up earlier, stay up later, getting more done. They can't help but be inspired by that and do more themselves.
Yeah, and like because I agree with Glenn. It's like and I guess I've kind of lived that way forever anyway. But it's finding out, like, one, you got to have that circle of people that kind of hold you to a higher standard. That's that whole the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So all, everybody's wanting everybody to do better, and you kind of know on every level where they're at, like personally, family, business, and you know what their goals are, and each individual is trying to help the other person, achieve that. But then in my business world, like hiring employees and training them and going through all of that whole part, like through Master Your Business, is finding out where those individuals are at in life, because we're all at a different level, is just and help them achieve that, no matter where it is. Because like we just said at the beginning of this, when you read the book again, you're at a different place. You're a different person. So if they've worked for you for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, man, their goals and dreams are going to keep changing, because you're, one, going to be inspiring them. 2, you're going to be helping them achieve those dreams and goals, whatever they are. Because most of the time it's outside of the business. I used to joke all the time, is like, as great as my kids think I am, as great as I think I am, I know, these guys are not showing up to make me a lot of money because I'm great. They're all showing up for their own reasons, their own families, their own bills, their own dreams. And I need to know what those are and I wanted to be the vision board for my employees. I wanted to find out what their dreams and goals were. And if they didn't have a board at home, and most of them don't, I wanted to always be bringing it up and talking to them. Like, hey, Dave, how's you guys saving up for that vacation? You started making the dates yet? Let's get it on the calendar. Make sure you're here. Let's that. This, whatever. They saving up for the house. You're doing all of that stuff. I wanted to be their vision board and remind them and help them achieve and have them grow as an individual. And that's business wise. That's what we've always done. But it's like most of the time, no matter who, like even the guys I play golf with, we're all talking about what you're doing this year, next year, all of that. I love these conversations with you guys. It inspires the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's super important. And then the other thing is, of course, if we're doing exceptionally well, and the people that are working for us are not, well, shame on us.
Yeah.
Right. They need to share in what we're doing too, whether it's bonuses, whatever it happens to be. But we can't just keep it all to ourselves.
Hey, Glenn, did you go back like in chapters 10, where PBD is asking, kind of take all the building blocks and put it on one page, put it on maybe at the most 2 pages, and you're writing it out. This is what I want. This is why I need it. This is why it must happen. This is the actions I'm going to take. Earlier, before you got online, Dave was showing us sheet after sheet of vision board, and here's what a whole list. I mean, he can hold them up instantly, so it's in front of him all the time. Did you go back and kind of map any of that out?
No, I did. I wrote it. I never got the book, so I just did audio. So I don't have. But the thing what he had is the questions to answer. Is that part of that deal? The questions to answer. A year of this plan is for previous year review. I will eliminate. I think some of the things is instead of adding stuff is just choose to. That's what I'm going through is what am I going to eliminate this year instead of just looking to add. Maybe I just need to eliminate a few things in my life. or this year, and how will this year be different? And I think that's one of the things is eliminate some of the stuff that I have instead of worrying about, okay, I need to do this or add this, is maybe I need to clean house a little bit more. And so I'm a little leaner. It's just like losing weight, it's like, oh, type of thing is maybe you need to lose a little weight instead of adding weight. And same thing with my schedule and how I'm looking at things. And what I look at is, and what I want to focus on is just focusing on removing stuff so I have more time or free time or whatever to give to what I already have instead of being overloaded. That was the thing that I thought that I got is that one thing is what will I eliminate? Because as an American society, how often do we ever try to eliminate something? Hardly ever.
Yeah. So what was that? What was that, Glenn? What was it that you decided to cut out?
Oh, I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm working on that.
So
in that sense there.
I had a client yesterday pull up her calendar she shared her screen with me. I'm like, all right, let me see your calendar. And this poor girl, the calendar was completely full, but it was all of reminders. It didn't have any scheduled time to actually do anything specific. I'm like, whoa. So what's your priority? What is it that you're focused on? What are you going to do today? She's like, well, I got all these reminders. They're like, no, just one thing. What is the one thing you're going to accomplish today that is the biggest domino that will knock down all the other dominoes, right? And if we can eliminate the distractions and the things that are taking us so much time, such as I know that for me, one of the things I've given up this year is distraction. And what I mean by that is going down rabbit holes of things that I have no ability to control whatsoever. So if it comes to politics, I can't control it. I'm saying no. I'm not going to listen to it. I don't have time to pursue it because there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. I already know what I know, so I'm moving on. Right? That doesn't mean I'm sticking my head in the sand. It just means I'm not going down any rabbit holes.
Yeah. And for me, I've definitely cut out the processed foods, or not 100%, but at least 75%. And I had cut out sugar last year, or as much as a lot. But this year I wanted to try to cut out even more. It's just, man, sugar is just so freaking addictive and so bad for you. But this year I really wanted to concentrate on health as my big main objective. And then going through this book, I really got focused on really helping my daughter, build her business to where, I don't know, it's like as big as she wants to make it. But we sit down, we have the meetings, the goals. I sent her and another kid. I'm helping him do the same thing. He's 24, but I sent him to not our competition, but to some flooring stores that are huge. I'm talking, a couple of hundred employees, huge freaking, 30,000 square foot warehouse showrooms. And we all did like a little outing and went by and because I know a lot of these guys, and we just go in and talk to them. And I want my daughter and this other guy to see what's possible. It's like, hey, you can make this whatever you want it. You can have, freaking offices and locations, across the country if that's what you want. So it gets them dreaming, and which inspires me even more.
Love that. Hey, by the way, thanks for taking those videos of the island.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm looking at that island right now. It's 22 miles across from me right now. Yeah. So I don't know. Hey, Glenn, and I know we kind of talked about it this whole time, but and Dave, you showed with those pieces of paper. But what are some daily steps that you're going to be taking to do something different this year?
So for me, I know we talked about a little bit about meditation, that we're not big on the woo-woo stuff. But yeah. I look at that as a little bit differently than most people. So to wake up in the morning, to start with gratitude, and to me, that's gratitude and prayer. And then the meditation is more of a quieting of the mind to receive answers, more of the listening side of prayer than it is full-blown meditation. if you will.
Yeah.
And then the visualization process is just visualizing the actions that I'm taking through the day and visualizing them, how they're going to go in a successful way, so that I have that confidence in my mind before I even do the thing. So I've already done it. Now I just have to go do it physically. And then that's the realization of it, which is getting to work and making it happen. Right. So that short process, 10, 15 minutes in the morning, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
For me, that's a great start to the day before I hit the gym, and then, get into traffic and listen to my audiobooks and then get to work.
Are you at CrossFit every day? Or are you at the gym every day?
No, because what I've realized is that I injure myself if I go too often.
Yeah.
So I have to put a day in between. Now I stretch. I'm wrong. I stretch every day, but going to the gym every day now, I don't.
Yeah, that's the one thing I did implement.
4 out of 7
is I added the stretching every day. A good minimum 20 minutes of stretching. I shoot for 30 to 40 minutes, and usually after the workout. But even if I don't do the workout, I have to do the stretching.
Yes, it's vital at our age that if we don't have a choice.
Yeah, big time. Glenn, what are you going to be doing daily? Have you? Is there something that you've said, no, I'm going to do this no matter what? I got to take this kind of action daily or at least weekly.
The biggest thing is probably a clean desk.
That's
that one thing there of the deal, because I've always looked, doesn't matter, and that's the other thing. There's always a job to bid. So your desk is somewhat with plans or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been like that forever in that sense. There's always something, but it's a better way of doing it or a better way of organizing it in that sense there. So at the end of the Friday night, it's a clean desk. And come Monday morning, it's always a clean desk when you walk in, or try to be in that sense there, because there's always something to deal that will stack it up. And the other thing is part of eliminate is that I remember hearing it, and I've heard everything almost, I don't know, a bazillion times it seems like, but is you only handle the paper once instead of handle it 3 or 4 or 5 times. And it's, I don't know, maybe it's something, they say like the older generation that had gone through World War II or the Depression and stuff, they hold on to stuff because they knew it when they didn't have stuff. And I've not gone through that. So I can't say I have that mindset, but it's kind of like, there's a sense of security by having something.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that desk thing, because if you look up, Google James Malinchak, a buddy of mine, I think he did a TV show, Secret Millionaire or something. But man, that's his thing, is like clean your desk. Like when at the end of every day, whatever it is, it's like he won't get up from his desk until everything's clean and put away. It's just and it's kind of true, because I don't do it as much as I wish. But man, when you walk into the office and the desk is nice and clean, it's like you're almost a little bit more motivated.
Yeah. Same as making your bed.
Yeah. It's just the
That's a good point.
Thing.
I hadn't looked at it that way, but that is true. It's the equivalent of making your bed.
Yeah, it is. It's like, and he's keen on that. And the first time he said it, I heard him say it, 15, 20 years ago. I thought, man, it's like, and then you try it and you go, man, because even without him saying it, you already knew it. I mean, if you have a desk, you already know when it's nice and organized, you just feel better. You're more likely to sit down and want to get something done.
Right.
I looked at my nightstand. I guess more of the dresser, right, with the mirror and all that crap on it. And I'm like, what in the world is this pile of stuff on top of that thing? I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much there. Where do I start? I started with one item on the left, and I made it through the whole thing. Everything put away where it's supposed to be. It's like, now why did we not just put it back where it goes when we take it out? Right? You took it out, put it back where it goes, just like you do your tools.
And with like Glenn just said, man, I've got so many papers that I feel like a hoarder. I'm like, man, should I throw this away or not? I'll stick it over here for right now and see if it comes up that I do need it. And like, man, I've got so many papers that I probably don't even need them because somewhere they're on the freaking the computer disk or the whatever. They're in the cloud or something. But I don't know, man. It's like it's hard
Brian,
to throw away.
My dad collected every single thing that you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Exactly what Glenn's talking about. And you know how many of those things he actually used?
How many?
None. He's dead.
None.
He's dead. None.
Yeah.
Right?
It is. It's like,
so they had to haul all that stuff off because it's just garbage.
Yeah.
Right? Just complete garbage. So no, we don't need to hang on to any of that stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, we are in a different type of economy today. So, you may want to.
I do not have anything in mini storage units, though, like half the country does.
You may want to hold on to that sweatshirt, right?
I mean, that's
don't get me started on that damn
stupid
TV
tax. That's the mini storage thing. I mean, we were looking at maybe building some, and it's just like you can't believe and people just keep building and building them, and people.
Well, you ever watch that show? Yeah, the Storage Wars. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'll tell you, I had a guy that I used to work with that did some of that stuff. Like he would bid on those. He'd bid on them. He'd go on. He found some amazing stuff in there.
It's not, and that's like a gambling addiction.
I would imagine
because you're not really sure what you're going to get, but it's exciting, and that's how people. That's why they're able to make it a TV show. People are freaking addicted to I want to see because I'm like, oh shit, man, they raise it up. Now I got to see what's in that box and this and that. And then it is when it's something good, it's like you hit the jackpot. But then, when it's like, again, you go back to Anthony Robbins and it's, that's part of what we need to keep going is the surprise. I mean, I don't know if you, I know Anthony, I know David follows Anthony Robbins. I'm not sure if you do, Glenn, but man, he explains one to where it's that we need that surprise that, like if you sit down at the slot machine, you put $1 in, you pull the handle, and you get whatever 2 7s, 3 7s, but you win, so you double it. So now you put $1 in, you pull the handle, you win, you get $2 back. You put $1 in, you pull the handle, you win, you get $2 back. When that expectation is there, you just keep pulling the handle and you win every time the same amount of money. You lose that energy. It's not exciting anymore. Now it's just a job. What's your job? Putting in $1, pulling the handle, putting in $1, pulling the handle. But when you have that, the anticipation and the excitement of you may lose or you may win big, and unfortunately that's how you train the puppy and the dogs and the dolphins and everything else is you don't give them the same treat every time. It's when you talk to someone at SeaWorld and how they train the dolphins is they keep jumping up 6 feet, they get the fish, and then 6 feet isn't good enough. They never know when it's going to get that big reward. So we're the same way. You got to give yourself that reward. And I think in the book, chapters 7, it's and Glenn, we talked about it last week. Set yourself up for when you set a goal and okay, once I achieve this, once I do that, what's going to be your reward? You've got to give yourself that pleasure, that reward.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times we don't do the reward system, and you got to have it in the middle of the things too. Just not all, just not on. Well, if this doesn't happen, even start out small or whatever, and then grow your rewards bigger and stuff. And that same goes for the same people around you too. If your job finished early, have a pizza lunch on Friday or something like that for the crew. Or every once in a while, you can't have it every Friday or something like that. Then that demotivates in a way, because if you don't have it, they're going, well, what's the problem?
No, they start to expect it, and it almost ends up backfiring.
Yep.
Right.
So,
can't believe all you're bringing is one pizza.
Man, hey Glenn, real quick, what's for your company? I know it's you and your brother, and any big goals this year to do something different than you did last year?
It's weird in the bidding world right now, because there used to be 2 or 3 bidders per job, and they're up to 11 to 15 bidders. The max I've seen in the last 3 months. I mean, hardly anybody's really close together. There's a few low bidders. They're in the middle and the high. They're spread out. quite a bit, but we're just looking like things are changing. And I think if we can just, my goal is if we can equal what we did last year, I'll be extremely happy on our construction side, business side. And then I want to really expand our recycling side. One goal I have is to sell 365 loads of recycled asphalt or material this year. While we only sold probably 60 to 70, we were just getting it going last year, especially towards the last part of last year. So my goal is like one a day.
Yeah.
And so it's those things there because as I look, okay, where are we going to be in 5 years? Or our goal is, or how I look at it is when I'm 60. So that's a 6-year goal instead of 5 is, okay, and where we want to be in that deal. Do we want to keep the company going? Do we want to sell it, or do we just want to shut it down? I mean, there's many various things of doing type of thing there, or just slowly and make it go more into recycling business and less of the construction and type of thing there. Because there's not much around us in the recycling area, and our area keeps growing. So we're looking, and the government's always going to tighten things up. You can't throw away stuff, or as far as concrete, asphalt and stuff, and ravines or back spots anymore. There's just too many people everywhere else, and that type of thing, and grow that business. That's the number one thing I'm focusing on this year.
Good.
That, and then just if we can keep our the construction equal to what we had last year, somewhere in the ballpark of that is fine with what the winds we see right now.
Yeah. And then because this kind of ties into what David does too, but like for me, everything is relationships. Like my daughter and her company and everything, we're talking about instead of keeping 2 or 3 crews busy, how can you keep 6 or 7 crews busy? What do you got to do different? I mean, can you just spend more money on Google ads? I'm like, no, I mean, you're only limited to how many people are on Google and searching, and you can do Facebook ads, but they kind of suck. You got to talk to 15 people to get one real person from Facebook. It's just a total different clientele. I said, the trucks and the vans need to be rewrapped so that everyone sees, your company logo everywhere. Sponsor some school, like whether it's softball or baseball. Every project should have the yard sign so everyone's seeing the name and the logo everywhere. You need to build the relationships with the builders, the interior designers, the decorators, real estate agents. You need to build the relationships with claims adjusters, with insurance, restoration companies, because every one of those people that I just mentioned that to build relationships with, you really, in construction-wise, residential, you almost need to go through 15, 20, 30 individuals to get one person that you really kind of click with that is able to pay your price, so that you don't have to, they're not always trying to, want you to do it on the cheap, because everybody's trying to get it done for the cheapest as possible. But then you need to find the ones who want to pay for the quality and pay the premium price, and it just takes time to build that. So that's the whole goal for these guys this year, and for me to help them. And I know with you, David, like a lot of that is just building the relationships and then showing people the results of what you've done. What's your goals this year?
It's really step one, you get the first sales funnel out, right? Get the squeeze page built so that we can start to gather those email addresses to be able to target market, right? So the concept is to get the squeeze page done, run the ads, target the people that we're looking for, and then we'll sell them into a course, and then we'll also sell them into a live event, and then from the live event to the Big Daddy mastermind type program.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then on the flip side of that is fractional services. So that's a little bit different. With the fractional services, I mean, you may be a great CEO, but you don't have a chief operations officer, you don't have a chief financial officer, and you can't afford to hire them. You don't have a sales manager, and you can't afford to hire them. Well, what do? You hire a fractional person to come in and work a couple days a week, a few hours a week, to establish the processes, the procedures, the training, to make sure that everybody's running the way they need to run. It's all the stuff that you teach.
Yeah. Right? And I think that's huge. That's kind of like Patrick's Minette. Do you have a minute to connect?
Yeah.
So you because like you just said, you maybe you can't hire a full-time bookkeeper, maybe you can't hire a full-time office person or a full-time this or something, but that you could hire a fraction of it to get you started and showing you the ropes. Man, that's so big.
And so for us, we've been establishing relationships with people that are experts at different things.
Yeah.
Right. So one of my former regional vice presidents for the company I used to work for, he is a fractional CEO. Right. So we will utilize his skills
Yeah.
for fractional CEO services. You know, chief operations officers, we've got a couple of us that have actually quite a lot of experience with operating large businesses. So
yeah,
it just really comes down to what do the companies need? And then how can we fill that need with the different services that we offer?
Yeah. The thought popped into my head. I was thinking either Austin, Texas, or maybe, Arlington, since you're there. But, last year we did the 3 months of Master Your Business. I think it was like 12 or 13 over an hour long, call with these contractors every week. But I thought about putting that not into a book, but into a manual, and then doing a 2-day training, either Austin or Arlington, instead of doing it over the 3 months, just bring the contractors in full day Friday, full day Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, maybe Tuesday, whatever it is, at one of the hotels. I'm looking at doing that. It's just a lot of work to put together that manual that I show up, because you were with me in Idaho. So those books that I put together that we go through, it's a lot of work just to put that together. And I have it scattered around here and there. I just have to put it in a little bit better format. But I'm thinking maybe we want to try that in, maybe sometime this year, 7 months out. I don't know.
Why not?
I'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, because it'll be
what you're good at.
Yeah, well, it is. And instead of dragging it out over 3 months, man, you just get inundated with it all, 8 or 9 hours Saturday, 8 or 9 hours Sunday.
Yes.
And then that night, everybody's in the same hotel. So you do a dinner and maybe breakfast in the morning, and you get to, brainstorm with other contractors. So I don't know. We're looking at it.
Yeah. Because that's your superpower, man.
Yeah. And I have to be.
That's what you're born to do. That and fight people.
Well, I have to be in Hawaii in October. So we're trying to make that like a 12 or 14-day trip. It'll be my first trip to Hawaii because I'm teaching karate over there in October. So that's a done deal. So we're trying to fill out the rest of the calendar, where we're going to be, what we're going to do. I don't know. I'll keep you guys abreast for sure.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Perfect. So Glenn, anything before we get out of here? What you want to
add? There was one thing. What was it? Oh. You started right off chapter 10. You need to learn the rules before you can break them.
Yes. In all areas of life.
And I was just thinking about that, is when you either try something new or whatever, you need to know how in the world is that happening over there, or how, another way, how do you get your foot in the door without getting it slammed, those things there. And then you can, once you get your foot in the door, how to break them, that type of thing there. Many different things. So that was another thing that just kind of piqued my interest in trying to the things. There's, man, the rules seem to be changing a lot, and especially in this last year on the just how different things are. And to me, that it's more so now than it has been in the last 3 or 4 years, it seems like.
And you brought it up a couple of weeks ago with the AI. Man, that's just going to be, AI is just, when it's here, it's just going to grow. And to hide your head in the sand about AI is not going to help you 3 to 4 or 5 years from now.
I use it every day.
Right. Yeah. But it's funny you just, what you bringing that up makes me think of the other thing that a buddy of mine texted me. He's up in Washington. Matter of fact, he's up in Washington near you, Glenn. Right at the border of Oregon and Washington. But he was at one of my seminars last year for the karate stuff, and he was like, "Man, you were stretching before the and that's another thing I've been is like get away from my stretching." But he had said, "Man, he's like, I noticed you stretching before the seminar." And it's like, "Man, it's like, oh, what share some of that with me. What are you doing? What I need to do? This is it." And he already knows what to do, and I knew what to text to answer him, but I had a hard time texting it out because it hits home on so many areas of my life. And I even started with that. I said, man, the same as every area of life, the number one thing with stretching, like every other area of your life, and I hated typing it out, but it's consistency. And
Right.
if I left you with anything, it's the consistency. Is like consistency, man. Just that minute change every day. Doesn't have to be a lot, but man, if you make that minute change every day and add it, a year goes by, 2 years go by, 3 years. There's nothing more powerful than consistency. And I know because it hit me on so many areas of my life. I hated texting. I was like, son of a bitch, why'd you ask me this right now? I don't even want to admit this. But and so that's what I'm really shooting for is the consistency in certain areas that I know I need to change.
Right.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's it, man. It's the small little things that add up over time to exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Either in adding that thing or elimination.
Yeah. Either way, it's like you're either getting better or you're getting worse. There's no in between. You're either growing or dying. It's like, it's like there's no staying the same. It just isn't going to happen. Dave, I'll give you the last word before we get out of here.
Hey, all I know is it's like Jeff Olson talks about in the Slight Edge, right? It's the little things that we do every single day that add up to the success or the failure. So let's decide, what are the little things you're going to do? And what are the little things you're going to eliminate? What are we going to add? What are we going to take away? So that we can really turn this into the best year of our lives. So what do you need to partner with, right? Who are you going to surround yourself with? What books are you going to read? What's your learning curriculum? Take the time to put it together on some sheets so that you can inspire yourself every morning when you get out of bed to get it on your calendar and get to work. Do the work.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, I look forward, and I look forward to and I look forward to seeing that, hearing and watching and seeing the podcast you guys have been working on, Dave.
It's going to be fun. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Yeah, appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys. Hey, Glenn, thanks. And I'll be bugging you guys later.
All right. Talk to you later.
Appreciate you.